How to watch free over-the-air TV with an antenna, a step-by-step guide. Streaming TV through subscription services continues to get more expensive, but antennas can be had for as little as $5, or free in some cases, and the programming is free. Step 1. Make sure your TV is able to receive digital channels. The FCC required all high-power analog US television stations to turn off their signals, and move to a digital-only transmission on June 12, 2009. Any TVs made after that time are digital. If you have an older TV, you can buy an analog to digital converter. Converters are cheaper than buying a new TV, but you will be stuck with an old TV. There are links in the description. Step 2. You will need an antenna. The good news is that you don't need a complex or expensive antenna to capture digital broadcast signals. You can build a perfectly usable antennas for less than $5. It all depends on how far away you are from the broadcast tower and what obstacles might be between you and the tower, such as tall hills. Living in a steep valley will prevent the signal from reaching you. The antenna doesn't have to be real fancy. Be cautious of antennas claiming a range of 150 miles or more. There is a misconception that the bigger the antenna, the clearer the picture will be. This was true with the old analog signals. It doesn't work that way with digital signals. With digital, the signal is either on or off, nothing in between. The picture is never fuzzy, just on or off. There are lots of antenna configurations, but there doesn't seem to be any one configuration that is better than others. It either works or it doesn't. So don't get roped into paying more than necessary based on claims of how great a particular antenna is. Starting with a cheap antenna, or a homemade, should be enough to tell you if you will be able to receive over-the-air broadcast signals from your location or not. You will find that the number and strength of channels doesn't increase in a poor coverage area when replaced with a more expensive model, even with a gain amplifier. In other words, if the cheaper antennas don't work, it's likely nothing else will work either. That's because your location is the single biggest factor in whether or not you get reception. Your antenna configuration is a far distant second, at best. Step 3. Connect the antenna to the TV. The antenna should have a coax cable attached to it, so you can attach the other end to the antenna input on the back of the TV, or the antenna input on the converter box. The cable attaches by screwing the end in a clockwise direction. Step 4. Turn your TV on and go to the Setup menu and look for Antenna Setup. This will allow the TV to scan for available channels. It should only take a few minutes at most to do a scan. Make sure your antenna is on the side of the house closest to the broadcast towers and that you are above the ground level. Reception quality is dependent on how far you are from the broadcast towers and what obstructions might be in between, such as hills or buildings. Buildings and hills can sometimes be overcome by raising the antenna high enough when possible. It might work better to switch to an outdoor antenna, depending on how many channels you are able to reach with an indoor antenna. When the scan is finished, you should see how many channels were found. They should also be available for viewing right away. Depending on the type of antenna you have, there might be times when a picture doesn't come in on some channels, especially in bad weather. Sometimes this problem can be solved by moving the antenna around a little bit, sometimes as little as a few inches, one way or another.